Being good at studying is a skill that anyone can learn, and that includes you. There are good study habits and there are bad study habits. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to ditch what's not working and focus on strategies that will work and make a difference come test day. 1. Create a study space. Set up your study space. It's great if you have a desk for studying, but a table will also work great. Make sure your space has good lighting and remove any clutter or distractions that might break your focus. Place the materials you need to study like pens, highlighters, and a notebook near the area so they are handy. It's okay to switch out your study spot if that's more convenient for you. For instance, you might like studying at the library or a coffee shop sometimes. Play music while you study so it's more fun. Create a playlist of songs that inspire you but aren't distracting. You might try instrumental music if you get distracted easily, but it's okay to listen to whatever you like. 2. Create a schedule. Create a daily study schedule for yourself. Rather than trying to do all your studies in one day, plan to study a little every day. Start by choosing the time of day when you feel the most focused. Then, decide which subjects you'll study each day. Keep your study schedule in your agenda or somewhere you can see it every day. Everyone has a different time of day when they feel most energized. You might find that you learn best early in the morning, but it's also possible you might like studying right after school or before bed. Do what works best for you. If you participate in sports or activities, keep these in mind when planning your studies. Let's say you have sports practice every day after school. You might decide it's best to study for an hour each evening before bed and an hour every morning before school to accommodate your sports schedule. 3. Organize your materials. Organize your study materials so it's easy to find what you need. You probably have a lot to do, so you need to spend your time wisely. Keep all of your papers, notebooks, texts, and writing utensils in a specific place so you don't waste precious study time looking for them. This way, you can quickly pull out what you need and get started. For example, you might keep your pencils, pens, highlighters, and erasers in a pencil pouch in your backpack. If you also have a desk at home, you could keep a copy of them on your desktop. Try using colorful pens for notes you write for yourself so it's more fun. You could use a hole punch to add holes to handouts, readings, and other paper items so you can keep them in a binder. As another option, you could keep them in a folder. Pick a binder or folder that has an image you like on it. You might even decorate it. Keep books or notebooks in your book bag or beside your study space. 4. Remove distractions. Remove distractions so you can stay focused on your studies. You'll have an easier time focusing if there aren't distractions around. Ask the people around you to not disturb you while you are studying. Additionally, turn off your TV and silence your phone so you won't be tempted to check it. If there is clutter nearby your study spot, you might want to remove it if you find it distracting. Try using a productivity app or website that can block social media and other distracting apps or sites during your study time. 5. Review your notes. Review your notes at the end of each school day so everything is fresh. You'll likely need to reread your notes a few times before they start to stick in your mind. Set aside a few minutes every day to go back over what you learned and all of your classes. It doesn't need to be a big block of time. Look for a few minutes of downtime, like when you're waiting for the bus, sitting on the ride home, or waiting for your after-school events to start. 6. Focus on key concepts. Focus on key concepts rather than minor details. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're studying because there is so much information to learn. You don't need to memorize your notes and textbook to do well in class. Instead, study the main points that your instructor pointed out in class. Then, figure out how the minor details and examples in your notes or text help you better understand the main points. 7. Read key notes out loud. Read key information out loud to help commit it to memory. Reading aloud can help you remember something better, so use this strategy for important points. Go somewhere you won't disturb anyone else. Then, slowly read your notes or the text to yourself to see if it helps you to remember it. You might also try reading aloud when you're having trouble understanding something. Alternate subjects. Alternate subjects so you don't get burned out. Try not to study one subject for too long because you'll probably get bored after a while. Unfortunately, this can make it harder for you to remember what you have studied. Instead, set time limits for how long you'll focus on each subject, then switch to something else. For example, you might decide to study math and English on Monday afternoons. If you have 2 hours to study, you might study math for 45 minutes, take a 15-minute break, then study English for 45 minutes. You could spend the final 15 minutes doing a self-test or review. 9. Make flashcards. Make flashcards for the information you need to memorize. You can use flashcards for most subjects, and they can be a great tool for testing yourself. Use flashcards to learn vocabulary, mathematical formulas, historical dates and figures, scientific facts and processes, etc. You can make your own cards or print some online. Then flip through your cards to test your knowledge. Making the cards yourself is super beneficial because you'll have to write out all of the information you're learning when you create the cards. 10. Make a mind map. Create a mind map to organize the information you're learning. Mind maps can help you make connections between what you are learning. Start by drawing a circle and writing the topic inside the circle. Then, draw spokes away from the center circle and draw circles at the end of each spoke. Inside those circles, write the main points you've learned about the topic so far. Keep branching off of each circle you draw with new facts and details about the topic. 11. Use online resources. Use online tutorials if you're struggling with the material. You might not understand every subject right away, and that's totally okay. Luckily, you can find study guides and video tutorials online that can help you study better. Look for study help as soon as you start having trouble so you can get the help you need. 12 and the last, test yourself. Test yourself to review what you have studied. At the end of each study session, set aside from 50 to 20 minutes for a self-test of the material. Do a practice test if you can, but you can also flip through your flashcards or block off parts of your notes to see if you can remember the information. This can help you retain more of what you studied and helps you identify the material you need to study again. Ask a friend or family member to quiz you if you can. Have them ask you questions about the material and check your answers. Take a practice exam using questions from your study guide or example tests online. This will help you identify any areas you need to review again. If you are wrong, go through the correct answers.